Well, we've now done a little bit of math, we've introduced the course a bit, and we're on to lesson 3. And this week, you get to experience what it's like to be a real scientist and to do your own experiment. Now, there's a lot of hints outlined in the lesson and descriptions and careful instructions there. But I want to just go through a few things to get you started, because I'm sure many of you have not done your own experiment yet, and you might be feeling a little nervous about this. What are you going to study this week? You're going to have to do an experiment on a pendulum. This means you have to figure out how to build a pendulum out of items around your house, unless you want to go out and buy some fancy stuff. Well, one of the easiest things you could do is just take a set of keys, tie it on some sort of string, and swing it, and you've got a pendulum. Pendulum is anything that swings back and forth at a regular rate. And the period of the pendulum is the time it takes to go from here back to here. And that's what you're going to measure and study. Okay? You could do this on a swing. You could do this with almost anything you want. Okay? What you're going to want to do is study this period, how long that time takes, as a function of how heavy the object is you stick on the end. Now, as a scientific experiment, what are questions you're going to have to ask yourself? Well, what variables do I need to control? What do I need to keep constant? How should I measure the period? Do I want to swing it a whole bunch of times and measure that time and do some division? What do I want to do? How am I going to vary the mass? Now, how are you going to answer these questions? Well, hopefully some of them you'll just answer on your own by playing around and thinking about it. Others, we have the online forum. Science does not happen in a vacuum. It's not one lone person sitting in their room working by themselves. In science as a community, we work together and we share ideas. So I encourage you, if you think you've had a particularly brilliant idea on how to build or study your pendulum, post the idea on the forum. Let other people try it, see how it works for them. They'll comment back and say, well, your idea sort of worked, but it failed here. What did you really do? This will test to see if you can communicate what you really did in an experiment. Now, the only little hint I'll give you in varying mass is just simply showing you another little pendulum here, which is a water bottle. You might wonder how this is a hint, but it gives you something to think about. So go out, design your own pendulum, discuss them on the forum, share your ideas, find out what other people are doing, and have fun with your experiment.